his father, Jerry, at his side. Jordan Spieth is the first of his own at Pebble. It's a place where he collected his first paycheck as a pro, but the last time he was here, he was holding the crystal. We take a look at the key to repeat his success for Spieth at Pebble, and the Stars are out in full force. That's straight ahead as Golf Central is coming your way next.
Golf Central.
Well, George, Rory McIlroy is extremely comfortable with his game after those strong showings in the Middle East and is looking to keep it going in 2018. Now, this week marks his first start on the PGA Tour in nearly 5 months, but he begins this year feeling refreshed and, more importantly, healthy. And that's going to be key, as McIlroy will be playing in 6 of the next 8 events on the PGA Tour leading into the Masters. Rory is also one of 5 of the top 10 players in the world in the field this week, with 3 of them already winning in 2018. Rory, though, is not worried about that. He's simply focused on what he's looking to do.
It's great that, DJ and John Rahm and these guys have won early this year, but the last thing on my mind is those 2 guys when I tee it up on a Thursday morning trying to go and play a golf tournament. I'm trying to play as best I can, and I realize the position I'm in the world of golf, and I know if I play well and I do what I can do and control what I can control, I'll have chances to win golf tournaments.
Can you use that sort of result in Dubai and also the great result in Abu Dhabi as a motivation this week, or is it a clean slate this week in terms of that?
It's a bit of both. It's a little bit of motivation because I had 2 chances to win golf tournaments and I didn't, or maybe 1.5 chances. I feel. I was maybe tied for the lead with 9 holes to go in Abu Dhabi, and Tommy played an unbelievable back 9. I was 2 ahead with 8 to go in Dubai. I should have won that. I let that tournament slip. But again, they're great building blocks. So I don't want to dwell on them too much. I take them for what they are, which are, good performances in a couple of pretty solid golf tournaments, and I'm go from there. So if anything, they were just 2 good confidence builders going into this part of the season, and now that I'm over here in the States, I've got 6 weeks out of the next 7 to try and play well and give myself chances to win. And I feel like where my game's at and how I'm feeling, if I do what I know I can do, I'll have chances.
It's a tournament you've never played. I'm just curious, Rory, 2 things. Why you chose to start here on the PGA Tour, and who do you think's played more golf in the last year, you or your father?
So I'd say one of the reasons we came here is obviously I'm playing with my dad, so that's a part of it, and it's nice to be able to come here and play with him. But it's a tournament that I've always watched, and I've always thought one day it would be really cool to play with my dad. Fortunately, we were able to get him in and play, and we've played the last 3 days, and it's been a lot of fun, and just hope he hasn't tired himself out. He's got a lot of golf left over the next few days, but so yeah, that was really the reason.
The McIlroys will get things going Thursday morning over at Spyglass Hill alongside Phil Mickelson and his amateur partner Jimmy Dunn. That gets going round number 1 for that foursome, 11:55 a.m. Eastern Time. And while Rory McIlroy will be playing in this event for the very first time, Jordan Spieth is back for his 6th career start at Pebble Beach, and he comes back as the defending champion. A year ago, Jordan had a 6-shot lead heading into the final round, shot 70 on Sunday, won by 4, and at the time picked up his 9th career PGA Tour victory. To duplicate last year, though, Jordan knows his putting has to improve from a week ago when he missed the cut at Phoenix.
I still believe that most of the guys that sit on this stage right here, you ask them who do they want putting on your team in a Ryder Cup, and I believe they'd say my name. So I have no doubt in my abilities. Just going through just a minor slump that is just setup related. I'm just trying to get back, and I got a little on top of it, and I was kind of hitting the ball into the ground with my hands pretty far forward, which is it's opposite of what my natural tendency has been going back to when I was 8 years old. So I just kind of got into a place that I hadn't been before, and I've just got to kind of get back into a comfortable setup position, and then everything will fall through from there. You know, the idea is just to stop thinking and just putt and not having to worry about things. But that's not the reality for a little while going forward here until I get to where when I set up over the putter, you know, I'm seeing my lines and I'm set up towards those lines.
In addition to the win last year on the Monterey Peninsula, Jordan Spieth has a tie for 4th, a tie for 7th, and 2 additional top 25 finishes here at Pebble Beach. George, that track record could bode well for Jordan to bounce back here this week.
All right, good stuff, Perko. I think if we kept you on camera for another minute, we would have lost you as perfect camouflage for that marine layer. You saw the fog fast approaching at Pebble, and as any statistician would tell you, always look at sample size when analyzing your data, but early returns for Jordan Spieth with the shortest club in his bag. You can see why he says he's in a mini slump. His strokes gained, not a number we're used to having next to his name. With Golf Channel analyst Tripp Eisenhower now. So what's going on?
Well, I mean, he just summarized it beautifully. Yeah. You know, who would know better than him? But, you know, if we look last week, and this what we saw at the first tournament of the year as well, was Jordan Spieth missing putts that he normally pours right in the middle. And it was evident last week there were troubles. And there you can see just missing from those distances that Jordan just normally pours them in. And there, that's just a poor stroke. I mean, that's not a misread. Now, this last one, I think, is a little bit of a misread, but you couple that with a loss of confidence, George, and that's what's going on with Jordan Spieth. Now, I do agree with him. I want him making a putt at the Ryder Cup just like his teammates do. The good news is, George, we've got about 8, 9 months till the Ryder Cup, so he's got time to fix it, but he could fix it here this week in a place that he's putted these greens quite well, even though they are very difficult to putt. Last year, the toughest, in fact, from 5 to 10 feet, so he's got a good laboratory to see if it's working. But I just want to show you what's going on, what he's talking about. Now, he's left-hand low, so what happens there is when you're left-hand low and then the ball creeps back, because normally he has the ball in a beautiful position that's right at the bottom of his arc. The ball just needs to be marginally back. That's it. Then you get your hands slightly ahead, and from there you're going to be hitting down, and just your normal stroke, but the bottom of your stroke is bottoming out too early or too late, excuse me, and you're hitting down into the ball, and then it's skidding offline very quickly. And that's what he's not used to. He's also very quick to say, and he's exactly right, this is just a setup issue. Now, it'll feel a little bit uncomfortable at first because when your minor changes happen, and this shows you what happened with tour pros all the time, they get just a little bit off, then they start losing a ton of confidence. But he's so quick to get this back that he's not going to let this slip out of control. He's right on top of it. He and Cameron McCormick do this regularly, and I think he's going to fix it this week. And the ball striking has been beautiful. So you throw in some great putting, hey, Jordan Spieth should be part of the story.
Real quick, it won't be hard to fix it when you're facing 3 different layouts and all these different type of greens.
And Poana, but he also said in sound that we didn't hear, but in the press conference show, he talked about these greens and your attitude. There's a lot of slope on these greens. They're bumpy. There's a lot of traffic. He said he changed his attitude last year, and it really paid off. As we saw, he held the trophy.
Yeah, showed a lot of gratitude after that week at Pebble Beach, winning there for the first time. You're going to have a lot of eyeballs on this group, especially when you have the great one playing in the same group as Jake Owen and, oh yeah, defending champ Jordan Spieth and world #1 Dustin Johnson. They get it going 11:22 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. The race for the FedEx Cup returns to one of golf's national treasures. Like I mentioned, Jordan, Dustin, joined by Jason Day, Rory McIlroy. They take on Pebble Beach Golf Links. Our coverage of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am begins tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern time. Up next on Golf Central, fresh off a win at the Farmers Insurance Open, Jason Day reveals what career win total could constitute success. And this will be Lefty's 100th start since his last victory. Maybe Pebble is just the place to end the drought. We look back at Phil's golden moments on the Monterey Peninsula. And Jordan had a wild ride to securing a PGA Tour card. We're going to look back at how it all began on the West Coast 5 years ago.